You've reached call in Mockery.
I must have the wrong number.
I wrote an idea down for a TikTok video in my notes app, and I didn't give enough description, so I don't remember what it is.
That's
or
like
why it's funny.
Yeah. That's like one time when I woke up, I had a dream. Mm-hmm. Well, I was like kind of half in sleep and half out of sleep, and I woke up and I wrote it down, and in the morning it just said genital Drew. Mm-hmm. And then I eventually did piece it back together that would be a funny...
Like a character?
Yeah. It was back when we had a TV show. Uh-huh. I remember I slowly pieced it together throughout the day of like genital Drew. It was if a lower third had a typo, you're talking to a general, but the lower third had a typo, so it just said genital Drew. I thought that would be funny if like it's a war hero, and we brought him on.
Yeah,
didn't like had an arm blown off or something.
We could do that on the podcast, but it's mainly an audio, so you'd have to do what you just do.
Yeah,
you'd have to explain it. Then you're
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
It's like when you start setting up a TV and they have if you get like a new OLED LG, 55-inch TV or something, you set it up and it starts with the audio and like the audio walkthrough.
Yeah.
And it's like, welcome to your LG TV. Would you like to start in English? Start in Franc? Start in Deutsch, start in Guman, start in Japan. And then you're like, you forget to turn that off. So then just every single thing, like Netflix, Hulu, GameOfThrones.com.
Volume up 34, volume up 35, volume up 36, volume down 35, volume down, and you try to trip it up.
Yeah.
You're going up and it's like volume up 35, volume down 36. Oh!
Yeah.
And that's how you catch them. Because everyone always says there's a little person in there.
You Daffy Duck their ass.
You know what's crazy?
Wabbit season, duck season, duck season. No! That's what it would be like if we did our sketches from a TV show on an audio podcast. If we were detailing everything, it would be like when you're talking to your TV.
Today I'm hunting duck, 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 goose. Duck, duck. That was a helicopter taking off.
Yeah.
TVs used to be big, right? So, but in the back.
Yo, right.
They were breaking the internet.
Little in the front, but have much back.
Party in the front, which is where you're watching Laguna Beach. It's where you're watching the hills. Business in the back. That's where the components are. But you'd say, okay, those people are in the TV, right?
Yeah.
It's big enough to house the little people that are in there. Now TVs so skinny, say you get a TV that's like a OLED, LG, who usually makes those panels, so they're kind of at the forefront of the OLED game,
right.
Probably 55-inch. It's not the frame one. So there are components. It's a little heavier in some areas where it's paper thin in other areas.
But it's actually a better picture than the frame one.
And the frame ones they're more uniform across the body, but they're still skinny, but not as skinny. So it can be right up against the wall, right?
Right.
But no one can fit in there.
No.
Did you ever do the Subway diet?
Yeah.
Eat big sandwich?
Yeah, of course. Of course, because I don't like Jared.
I didn't ask.
No, I don't.
It's weird that you'd bring him up.
But I did like...
The lady doth protest too much.
Who? Where is she?
You know what's a great segue? Me talking about TVs. You don't fit in them. You have to be skinnier. I go to you. Talk about segue. You know what a bad segue is? The one that killed the guy that made segways.
Yep. Drove him right off the side of a cliff. Sick, isn't it?
Yeah.
Paul Blart didn't deserve that. I was thinking. Okay, no, actually, I wasn't thinking this.
Yeah,
well, I
I know.
was, but okay. So we're on a road trip. I'll talk to you about it offline. I don't want to brag about it online, but we're on a little road trip for the weekend. We're listening to what's everyone do when they're on a road trip? You listen to music, sure. Some people do. Some people throw on a podcast. So we throw on a podcast, a true crime podcast. Someone put online that this is the most disturbing true crime podcast I've ever heard.
Wow.
So we threw it on, and yeah, it was kind of ruined the rest of the trip. Not really, but it was. I'm not even going to tell you what it was because you don't need to listen to it.
So you don't want to listen to something a little. You're going on a trip, and we're not. Of course, we're not going to bring off mic conversation on mic, right?
No.
So let's just say you're on a trip.
Okay.
But it's a fun trip, right?
Yes.
So you want to start it with a podcast about something that horrible happened.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, usually we like true crime. I know, say what you want about it. But this was the first time where I was like, oh, wait, yeah, we shouldn't be listening to this. This was the first time. Because people do that. They're like, you're exploiting people's pain for your own pleasure. And it's like, yeah, shut up. So are you every time you listen to a song about a breakup.
Yes. Yeah.
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 It's the exact same.
Yeah.
But this one was especially terrible, and you're just like, first of all, screw the person that put it on whatever timeline that was like, this is the worst one. You have to listen to it. Screw you. Screw the guy that made it. So I won't tell you what it's about, but they're interviewing the lady whom the survivor of the attack. Now, there were other victims that did not survive.
Of these horrid crimes.
Yes. And the survivor is talking about her kid and saying, it's very serious and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, yeah, she was just a and notice I said she was. Mm-hmm. She's just she was just my little mini-me. She was just beautiful. Mm-hmm. And then we listened to another one, and they were talking about their daughter, and she's my mini-me. She's just, she was like, just like me and just my mini-me. And I got to thinking, how funny is it that without Austin Powers, we wouldn't have this very common phrase that everyone uses unanimously, lovingly.
Yeah.
That's my little mini-me. When the origin of it is it's just a funny, tiny version of Dr. Evil. And everyone just uses it now like it's always been a part of our vocabulary.
Yes, it's a term of endearment in the American lexicon.
It started as Vern Troyer being a tiny little person version of Dr. Evil. And then I just thought about that and started laughing because it's so insane. And it is funny. Mini-me. My mini-me.
I shall call him Mini-me. the phrase. Think about it.
Think about it for 2 seconds.
You say things so much that you don't think about it.
Yeah.
Mini-me. It's a mini-me.
It's him, but miniaturized. Mini-me.
Also, shout out to all the parents out there. I want to take a moment to say, stop calling your kid your mini-me.
Yeah.
You had a kid just to have a little you. That's how much you love yourself. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
Not the people on this podcast. No. They're allowed to say it. If something happened that's dark in your life, everyone can be a mini-me.
Yes.
I guarantee it. I just mean when you have kids that say, I just want a little mini-me. That's disgusting, you pig.
Yeah. But so that was my kind of fun anecdote from my road trip.
Well, speaking of pigs, that kind of expertly goes into my road trip story. I took a little road trip to a bookstore. And as I was leaving the bookstore, a man was coming.
Yeah, I think I know what kind of bookstore it was.
A man was making his way. I'm exiting, okay? And he's making his way, and he's a little further back than I would normally hold the door open for someone. But he's got a cane. He's an older gentleman. And I said, you know what? I've got the time. Right?
Yeah.
So I held the door open for him, and he goes, I'm coming. Sort of an old guy, crotchety old guy, but he's just kidding. And I went, I know, I'm rooting for you. And then he comes outside and he
Kills you.
he comes outside and before because I hold the door and I go, all right then. And I start walking my car and he goes, you know, I got all the way back to the back of the store to the bathrooms to do. And I went, okay. And he goes, and then I realized I was out feeding my horses and I didn't kick my shoes off. And I went, oh yeah? And so he goes, I take my cane, and he starts whacking his shoes with it, and all the dirt's coming out. The dried mud is coming out of his shoes. He goes, because you got to do that, because when you go inside, you track all that in. You don't think about it, because you go to the bathroom to. I go, okay. And he said, but I do that at home, and I'm just standing out on the curb with him now. He says, I do that at home too. Well, because I live by myself. So I'll go feed my horses. And I'll go home to use my bathroom to, I said, okay. It's, to do stuff. I was like, yeah, I get it. He goes, but then I get all the way inside. I go to the bathroom. I do the stuff in there. And then I realize I didn't knock my shoes off. So then I go outside. I take my cane, and then he starts hitting his shoes again to show me what he just showed me. And he's whacking it out of his shoes. He goes, because when you go to feed the horses, there's mud. And I go, yeah, it's dirty. He goes, well, it's not that it's just dirty. It's one of those things where I'm trying to finish a sentence for him because it's taking a while. Yeah. Because he goes, well, and I go, it's muddy. He goes, well, it's not mud. I go, okay. He goes, but it is dirty. Okay.
That almost sounds like a punchline or like a slogan.
It's not mud, but it is dirty. That's what they say about the lumberyard too.
Yeah.
So, and he goes, so I do that, and then you can go inside and use the bathroom. Like, what? Why is it all like you're going home or going to the bookstore? It doesn't have to be about going to the bathroom. He goes, and then when I'm doing that at home and I'm whacking my shoes off, and I start thinking, oh, am I going to tell a stranger about this? And now look.
He did one.
And I went, well, yeah, you did. I guess you did. You never know.
He thinks about that?
Yeah, and then he made it come true.
Wow.
I mean, he brought it. It sounded like he was trying to self-fulfill that prophecy.
That's like that movie idea that we have that we can't say on here because it's too good to be true. And someday when we do write it and send it to John Krasinski and he changes every single word of our script and claims it as his own.
And then he makes a sequel and he says, well, when I had the idea for the first one, I always thought it'd be good to do a second one.
Yeah.
So then he does the second one of this idea we have, which we're not even going to think about because when you put those thoughts into the universe,
someone right now
people can snatch them like strawberries off a pig. So he whacked his shoes off and
were they dirty?
Yeah, there's a lot of dirt. But then he didn't go back inside.
That's what I was going to ask. So
he went to the bathroom.
And then came out and told you that he should have knocked his boots off first.
Then he did. And then said, well, then, have a good night. But he does live alone. I was trying to, I was like, what do you want here? He's just whacking him. Because I said, are you going to scrape him on the side of he goes, no.
You said that?
Before he started whacking him, because he goes, you got to come out to the curb. And I go, and scrape him. And he goes, well, no. And he holds up his cane, and I flinch. But then that's when he starts whacking his shoes to get the crud out of them. But I'm like, I didn't need to know. Because he goes, well, I went into the bookstore and go all the way back to the bathroom.
That's just old.
To do, guy stuff. I'm like, what?
That's just, and if it's the bookstore I'm thinking of, that bathroom, everyone goes into that bathroom to destroy.
Yeah.
You're not going in there. The muddy shoes are the worst thing. The least.
Yeah, and no matter what time you get
troublesome.
in there, it always smells the same. Mm-hmm. It could be you're the first person there in the morning.
Yeah.
It could be you're the last person there on St. Patrick's Day evening. It's going to smell the same. And it's because 10 to 1 people are going in there to use the bathroom, not to look at stuff. But I will then let you know that all the magazines, the front magazines, are all disgusting. Someone's going to go destroy the bathroom, probably not wash their hands because there's usually, if it's the bookstore you're thinking of, there's no soap, there's no toilet paper.
No one's touching it.
The hand dryer doesn't work. You have to grab the handle full force with 2 hands to open it, which has been touched by other people that didn't wash their hands. And then they all go touch books.
One time we were at that establishment. It's Barnes & Noble. And the woman with whom I live went to the bathroom, and she came out and was like, "We have to leave." I was like, "What?" She was like, and then she was like, just quiet. And then a little girl who looked old though.
Okay.
Came
like
out
from
of
the orphan?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. And it came out of the bathroom and she was like, she crawled under. She was in the stall next to her and then crawled under her stall and looked up at her and then crawled back. Just insane stuff happens at these. And then the one that we worked at, the old guy left a little trail of blood from the bathroom out to his seat and then just sat as he's dripping blood. And you know the old guy I'm talking about, I think. But just
yeah, I do.
Sick stuff. Sick stuff goes on. And then I believe they had to call the emergency vehicles to come take him because he's just sitting in a pool of his own blood.
Yeah, and then that chair gets the old
the old degreaser.
Yeah. A bucket that you just squeeze the blood back into and then wipe down all the other tables. By the way, I went out to eat the other day.
Yes.
And the lady was washing tables by. She had the wet bucket, and she would take it out and she just flung it. So all the disinfectant went all over the table.
Yeah.
And then she'd wipe it down. But she's doing it right next to me. So she's getting closer to me just like No, but Barnes & Noble also had an issue where the water started coming up out of the sewers. And people were in the bathroom and they're like, they said, because there's a grate on the floor. And they're like, there's water coming up through the grate in the floor. Yeah. And then it started happening in the cafe. Yeah. And that's when our manager told us, well, we have the same pipes back here as the bathroom. So we had toilet water coming up. What are you going to do? Sue us for talking about this?
Yeah, come on. You can't do that. And then one time
they wanted me to keep making cookies. I said, the floor is the toilet.
The floor is the toilet. My shoes are ruined. One time when we were testing the water, we found out that the bathroom faucet actually had better water.
I think about that every time I have to get a drink there.
Yeah. And you do have to.
Yeah. Sometimes it's either go there or the closest place to that is, and I hate Starbucks. I'll say that.
Wow.
For regular coffee, it's one of the worst.
It's fine. To me, it's fine. But I know people have.
It's like the Starbucks is X amount of miles away, or I just get it here.
Yeah.
Whatever. How about your local bookstore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One time I was using the bathroom in there and I was peeing, and then the guy in the stall next to me, his foot started creeping out, and then he rubbed my shoe with his foot, and he started rubbing it. And it turned out to be the security guard at the store. He was doing it as a joke. But he was still sitting on the toilet and then knew that I came in to the bathroom.
Well, he saw your checkered shoes.
He saw my checkered shoes. This was yesterday. And then he started rubbing my foot.
And of course, our viewers can see your checkered shoes.
Yes. Can you do a close-up on my checkered shoes?
Yeah, we'll get in there.
Thank you.
And yep, there. So, yes, it's a sick place. When I worked there, I would on my break, I would go and I had to use the bathroom. I'd go use the mall bathroom. I'd walk out of the store half a mile. And go use a different bathroom because it makes you feel disgusting to be there. And a few places are like that. Target for the longest time had a terrible bathroom. I think they've turned things around, but
I don't know. I mean,
maybe not.
Well, it depends on where it is because there's the Target that's at the mall.
Well, yeah.
And that's just a disaster.
Yeah.
Anything at the mall. So Barnes & Noble's on one side of the mall, Target's on the other side. You're getting it on both ends. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then the middle,
that's
you
what
can
that
maybe
security
find.
guard was trying to do.
Yeah, he was going for my bullseye. So you're getting on both ends of the bathroom. Any other? Then sometimes you can go to Best Buy because their bathroom is contained within their store.
Yeah,
but it's still not good.
What I found especially back at a previous job where I'd have to drive a lot of places, what I would find is you go and you have to
Yeah, old man stick shoe.
Yeah.
You go to the bathroom.
You go to the bathroom to
old man stick shoe.
To old man stick shoe. You try to find a Home Goods or like a home goods store, maybe not specifically Home Goods, but in that line, because oftentimes predominantly women are going to be shopping there. Mm-hmm. There's not as much activity in the men's department.
Yeah.
In the men's bathroom. And I love Home Goods. I love it. I love going to Home Goods.
Michael's is a good one.
Michael's, yes. These places where the men's room, and of course I'm speaking only as a straight, white, cis male.
We're talking about the places that have the binary bathroom still, not the place that it's like a man decal and a woman decal and then the half and half decal and then like a dinosaur.
Right.
And then a goblin and then one's like green.
And a space invader.
Yeah, and then it says, whatever, just wash your hands.
Yeah.
You know, not one of those.
If you find one of those, it's definitely clean.
If you find one of those that's clean and you're also at a cool coffee shop.
Yeah.
You know what I put on my bathroom door? Employees only.
In my bathroom, I put up a little sign that says, please wash your hands. Yes, especially you.
Oh. Why is it that people are monsters in public bathrooms? And I know this is going to go into my special.
Yeah, and I think we've probably talked about all of this before.
Maybe, but like, what is the point of, someone else is in the bathroom and you're just going to go pee. And
and that's all at the urinal.
God. Yeah.
We're not going to talk about what you do when you
just at the urinal,
old
someone
man
goes,
stick shoe.
No.
You're just, you're standing there, a normal person. It's like, what is going on?
Why are you doing this? Why are you an animal?
Ladies, I'm going to need you to chime in. Give us a call at 319-DUB-MIT.
I've asked about this, and I've heard the women's bathroom is also filled with monsters.
I have too, but I want the ladies to chime in.
Yes.
319-DUB-MIT.
DUBMIIT.
Call us. Let us know your bathroom stories, your scary, creepy, stinky bathroom stories. And if you're one of the people that we're talking about that go into the bathroom and start bleeding all over the place or like spitting on the floor or like peeing in a circle for some reason because you think it's funny, call us too. We want to hear from you so that we can put you on our list. To report, not any other kind of list.
We're normally anti-list, but if it's bathroom stuff...
Well, it's just wrong because we all have to share the space.
Yes, this is more of a civil disobedience. I don't want to get you in trouble for...
I will get you fired from your job.
And don't have the quirky signs in your bathroom. Don't have the...
Don't
have the please don't do coke in here in cursive. Don't do that.
No.
Don't have the one that says Obi... What are you going to say? Let me think of something.
I was just saying, yeah, of course we agree with the intention behind it, but at a certain point it feels a little, it's like when a certain side of the political spectrum is like, I don't care if you're black, white, green, purple, or Cantonese. Mm-hmm. You're like, well, it kind of, I don't know, the way that some of those people exist and the other people don't.
I don't care if you're red, white, black, blue, yellow. Okay, you're just now some of these are derogatory. Like some of them you're throwing in there.
But you can't
green space alien. Well, we're not talking about space aliens.
No,
just
there are.
Can I use the bathroom if I don't conform to these two genders? Yes or no? Well, I don't care if you're a cowboy or a spaceship. Okay, I'm gonna use the bathroom then. No.
Anyway, did you think of another one?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a picture of Jar Jar Binks and it says Misa has to pizza.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, I would like that.
Okay,
if that's in the toilet.
If that's in the toilet?
The toilet room. The room where the toilets are kept.
The room where the toilets. The room where the toilets. Mr. Washington, did you have something to say? Mr. Washington, I can be here all day. Misa, go pizza. Is someone going to do a Star Wars Hamilton kind of Spamilton sort of thing?
Yes.
Like they've got the Shakespeare books, where it's like...
Yeah.
Watto is,
Yeah.
That's all I got. Well, we'll see you guys. This is our last episode.
Anakin Skywalker.
What's it say? This is Anakin, sir. Do you have something to sell for my Bespin, sir? Well, Bespin is a planet. It's not a thing. I guess that's why we just have to sing. Well, my name is Obi-Wan and my name's Qui-Gon Jinn. I hope that's something that I'll be drinking again. Do not drink if you want to fly in my spaceship. But guess what? This is a freaking space trip. Star Wars is a space trip. It's a crazy movie. I love Hamilton.
Yeah. We watched the first 30 minutes and never revisited it.
You and me?
Yeah. Remember?
Yeah.
No.
Did you watch something?
Hamilton. About 3 years ago now, we started watching it, and then it was on the 4th of July. We said, this is kind of patriotic. We'll throw this on. Everyone's talking about it. Fireworks started going off at about 6 p.m., when you can still not see the fireworks going off, so it's just annoying. And the dog starts barking, and then we said, well, I guess we'll just watch this later.
Sensory overload. You've got history coming at you a mile a minute.
But in kind of a fun new way.
Right. You've got Lin-Manuel kind of just shouting at you fast, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got pop, 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 bar, 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 bar.
Yeah.
Just too much.
So we turned off the TV. We said, we'll watch this. We'll finish this tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Never did. Never seen it. So, I listened to the soundtrack once.
I did too. I don't know if I listened to all of it.
I was like, man, it's kind of... Whatever, people will be like, Lin-Manuel Miranda is such a little cringy.
It's actually not that good.
It's actually,
okay.
He's an idiot for even thinking about doing this. Yeah, right. I know if I looked at your Tumblr, you'd be squealing his name. And I find you to be repulsive when you do stuff like that, Joey.
My Tumblr is not for your eyes. What we do on the podcast is separate from my Tumblr page. It's softcore. What?
Here's what I was speaking of bookstores from a while ago, I went, remember, was it just last week we were talking about old bookstores, rickety bookstores with the books stacked up to the very tippy top?
Yes.
On the road trip I went to, we went to one of these types of bookstores, and we walked in, and it was up to the very tippy top. And it was literally
like curved.
I looked up and saw that, and I said, "Is this gonna fall over?"
Mm-hmm.
And the woman with whom I live said, "It really looks like it." And then we proceeded to stay there for about 30 minutes, much to her chagrin. Mm-hmm. But I did find some cool stuff.
It was a Diagon Alley sort of situation.
It was cool, man. And then I went to the back, and there was literally just a divot in the ground and a cone in the middle. to warn you that
not fall in.
Yeah, I was like, the whole thing is going to just fall in eventually. But
You'll have to tell me what that is off pod.
yeah, it was pretty cool. There's some cool stuff.
The one last week, is it on Edgewood?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I don't.
It's a pretty cool little.
Okay. Well, don't spoil it for the people. We want
No.
if you come out to our live shows. Hopefully, we'll have some live shows before the end of the podcast, which is soon.
Mm-hmm. Before the end of this episode. Yeah.
We'll tell some tales out of school.
Mm-hmm.
Landon's checking his phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. People are liking it.
Oh, good. That's good. That's great.
Did you watch it? That was all I had written down in my notes that have been unceremoniously ripped from my phone.
Yeah.
So.
There's been something strange going on around here. I think it's the solar flare. A lot of people don't want to believe me.
Ow.
You okay?
Solar flare from high school.
You need the Tenactin, tough actin.
That's right. Yeah. It's not even. I mean, after you see James Austin Johnson do it, why even try?
I had a good bit on the way here. Oh crap! It was.
They say it's tough acting.
I wrote something else down, but I didn't write down the Trump song I was gonna do.
The song. Yeah, we need more songs. People really respond to us when we do songs. We'll spend hours and hours, like 15 minutes, writing a song, and then we'll play it, and no one says anything. Why is that?
I don't know. If we
Because
make
we don't
something
know how
up,
to promote ourselves?
maybe. But then it's just like, you guys. Yeah. Nothing. But I'll go onto TikTok and someone's like, Alexander Spamilton. And
Yes.
it's like 2.3 million likes.
Here's what's annoying me.
It's like, they already did that. It's called Spamilton.
Here's what's annoying to me. Okay? And then we can talk about whatever dumbass idea you
I'm still
have.
thinking. I'm clueless.
I keep seeing more and more of these guitar-wielding stand-up comedians. And there are little clips on Instagram and YouTube Shorts and TikTok. And they're just playing a guitar and singing their stand-up. It doesn't rhyme. It's not a song. They're just saying, like, half singing, half speaking.
Are they kind of like one-liner things?
It's like, well, there's this one guy who's like doing crowd work, and he's like, "You look so pretty."
I saw this too.
Yeah.
It pissed me off.
He's like, "So what do you do for a living?"
And people are loving
they're
it.
like, they're like, "I'm a teacher." Oh, teacher, don't get paid nothing. Don't get paid nothing. No, no. And you're with your boyfriend, not your boyfriend. Your brother, not your brother. Your husband, not your husband. Your friend, your friend, your friend, your friend. What are you doing?
I think you oversold what they're doing, because I've seen this, and they're not telling jokes.
No.
It's not even like they're singing like, when I go to the bathroom to do, you know.
Well, there is another guy that does that. Where it's like,
okay.
it's a premise to a bit, and it's kind of like it's like taking Chris Rock's style of like, church is for idiots, and then he'll do a joke, and then he'll come back to church is for idiots. That type of rhythm.
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's a white guy with a guitar, and he's like, my brother is, I don't know. He'll say something, and then he'll come back to the premise. The chorus is the premise, and it's like, my brother is my best friend, or whatever. I can't think of it off the top of my head. Okay.
No, but
I already gave you a bunch of good crowd work jokes.
I know. I know what you're talking about. I get it. People out there are saying yes to their computer. Right?
And I don't want to even say the second guy. The first guy, I hate him. The second guy, I feel bad for him because he was on a pretty popular show and then got fired.
Ooh.
So, and I feel bad for him. He seems like a funny guy and a nice, charming guy. And I think he probably has
Brooks Wheelan.
No, the other one. I think he has other, like, he does have comedy songs, but you you don't have to do just that. Like, well, I do play songs, so I'll do a comedy song and then I'll just riff with a guitar for a while. Like a comedy song should have a reason that it's a song and not just a bit. Right?
Yeah. And maybe is that coming out of there was an era of stand up where it was someone noodling.
It's and the Zach Galifianakis.
They do the thing over it, right?
Yeah.
And Dimitri Martin would kind of do that too. He's like, I saw a sparrow outside and he's playing the guitar.
Yeah.
At this point, sorry guys, you missed the boat.
I don't think he even does that anymore though. Neither
of them do.
Well, no. But
Zach doesn't even do stand up.
No, he doesn't even like to be funny anymore.
No.
He gets mad when people are like, "You're funny." And he's like, "I'm not."
Yeah.
And like, okay, why am I listening to 2 hours of you talking then?
That's kind of how I am, but it's like when people tell us we're not funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know. Yeah. Don't listen to the show then.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to do? I was like, why do birds suddenly appear? It's true. Every time that you're near. I had a song.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Just like me.
They did that.
They long to be
last week on SNL.
That song?
No.
What'd they do? He sang?
Yeah. He's like,
what? I had a great idea on the way here.
Because Trump, the real version.
Is there a real version, you know?
Well, isn't that so funny that you bring that up? Because, yeah, the guy. Mr. Trump.
Oh. Yeah, go on.
Who you refer to in our private text conversations as my president.
Yes, Donald Trump Jr.
Yes. He had a recording with the J6 prisoners that went to the top of the charts where he's like saying the Pledge of Allegiance over them singing the national anthem or something. I don't know. I haven't heard it, but
that's the sketch?
No,
or this
that's
is real.
That's real. So the sketch from, I think it was just last week, is James Johnson's Trump, who's like, you know, my recording has gone to the top of the charts, so I'm raising more money by doing other songs. So then he sings, you know, funny songs, which are just like songs from TikTok that he's.
I like James, but I think when the actual thing that happened is funnier than their idea.
Yeah.
When I go, that's an SNL thing, and then you said no, that's real.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's the old you can't parody, right?
Two for flinching.
It's like making a scary movie version of Scary Movie. You can't be satirizing a parody.
I never thought about that.
Right? So, you know, just things to think about.
Huh. Okay.
But I'm sure what you had was probably funny.
There was something there. Man, I should write for SNL. What if Trump sings? And they're all like...
Did you watch This Week?
No. I haven't watched the last like a month of them.
I watched this one because Molly Shannon...
I didn't even know she was hosting.
Molly Shannon's back, and of course she's hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem.
Until she comes on SNL for some reason. No, there's some funny stuff, but also some just aggravating stuff. That you just say... I know it's probably hard to come up with stuff, but why? It's not.
You have all week to break the mold.
I mean, just in the last 40 minutes, we've made each other laugh harder than SNL. Now,
and people listening are just they're just driving their car, right?
Yeah, probably into or off of a bridge.
Right.
But I think more stuff should be made just for my own personal enjoyment. So that's why we make a podcast full of stuff that only we think is funny.
When you put this video on TikTok, show me slowly like my opacity is going down and I just disappear from the shot.
All right. Remind me to get what we call what do we call that? A plate?
Yeah.
Remind me to get a plate of the empty background.
Remind me to get a plate too. I'm doing this intermittent fasting thing and I'm just hungry all the time now.
Yeah.
Remind me to get a plate of food.
Okay. I think we did talk about this on the show, but because I pointed out the fact that don't we all just intermittent
fasting?
Don't we all do that when we sleep?
Okay, you just handed our asses back to us. Huh. Which, speaking on that, I watched Murder Mystery.
Oh yeah,
just so funny. I rewatched the first one.
Yeah,
so funny. It's a great movie. I was having the time of my life. Murder Mystery 2, still funny.
Oh,
but very different.
Oh.
Different director. I think they went with someone who had less of a comedic eye. That does not change how funny these two characters are. Oh. Adam Sandler, he says stuff that I don't. Just the way he is, you know? You know what I mean?
Of course.
He says stuff that made me laugh so hard that if someone else just had said it the same way, they're just talking.
Yeah.
But the way he just has his little one-offs is just so funny. His little thing with Jennifer Aniston, their chemistry's great. The second one is an action movie. It's like a Mission Impossible movie. And I don't know where they got the budget for this. It's it's crazy.
I gotta watch
It's great. So check it out. The first one, just really funny. And the second one, you go, okay. So speaking of perpetual nature of light and darkness, they're back at it again in the second one.
I love that. I'm gonna watch it. Immediately. Okay, well, speaking of Adam Sandler, we happen to be watching a little hotel TV, as you know, I love to do. And what is on but Wedding Singer, The Wedding Singer.
Oh.
Haven't seen that in a long, long time. I was laughing out loud in my hotel room. And it's one of those perfect rom-coms, but also just some of the funniest little lines. And I just kind of noticed the same thing where other actors would, comedy or drama, would say a line and it would never be as good as Adam.
Yeah.
Because even in that movie, there's like, some dramatic moments. And you're like, of course he can be a dramatic actor. Because he just said that in a way that made me believe him more than I've ever believed any actor ever.
Yeah.
And then you will have just some of the funniest stuff. I love that guy.
He's just.
And great chemistry with Drew Barrymore. I think he truly loves them.
Yeah. Which is why it's funny when you rewatch the first one and his wife is in it.
Yeah.
And you just get to see them have some fun together. God. If you don't like Adam Sandler movies, just chill out. I know we don't like anything. Yeah. And now we're talking about things that people are like, that's not funny. It is. He's making. I don't know some of the. I know he gets to go on vacation every time he makes a film.
Yeah, so
like
what?
This one, he's like, I want to go to India and Paris, and then he goes. But it's like, do you know how hard it is to do that? Like, you have to travel and make these big movies. I don't even know where these movies are coming from. All of a sudden, they made a second one, and it's like this huge movie.
No one even told us.
It's just he'll just say stuff that is so funny. I just love it. That's funny. That's amore.
That's funny. So check that out. And delete this episode from your. Remember to always delete your podcast episodes. They're taking up space. Some apps, some podcast apps delete it for you once you've listened to it, but you've probably stopped it by now, so it's just going to be stuck in your downloads.
Yes. If you have it set to archive when completed. The keyword there's, well, two keywords, I guess, is when completed.
Yes.
If you don't complete it, you've still got, what is this, gig, 1.6 gigs probably?
I mean, at this point,
just sitting there on your phone.
So just always make sure.
And then you're going to the guy at Boost, and you're like, why is, like, what are system files?
Yeah.
What is this? Why is it taking up all of my memory? And he's like, I don't know. Well, check this.
You have 200 episodes of Lunch Break and Colin Mockery downloaded on your phone. They're a gig each.
Your other option is to just listen straight off of 4G, right? I don't know where you're at. 5G.
Could be, yeah.
Just do it over cellular, and then you're racking up
No, it's costing
That's
you money.
costing you money.
In
So
the
it's
long
either
run.
space or money, right?
Yeah, or just watch it on YouTube.
I know I've said this before, but the two things in life that are help me out here because we really got to go. So I really want to say this really fast.
Okay.
The two things in life that
Two
are
things in life
always
that are always
the two things in life that are promised.
promised.
Hey, you know what they say about life? No. Yes. The two things in life that are promised. We'll say that, right?
Okay, yeah.
Death and taxes. You know what the crazy thing is, though? When you get to heaven, they say, where's your W-2? Even up here, I have to pay taxes. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.